All right, it is 7:17 and foggy here at Cal Expo. Foggy in more ways than one, actually. I am your local host, Sean Effertson. And it's always foggy when I'm around. Speaking of fog, it's Sonoma Dan.
I'm wondering if the fog, which I haven't seen, I don't think it's foggy out here in Sonoma. I have a question for you and everybody else in the audience here. I've noticed quite a bit of police activity, especially with helicopters surveying the area. That's a drastic increase. Kind of makes you nervous given how, tense everything is of late. Crime is up. There was a beheading in Santa Rosa. They caught the guy. Looked like a MS-13 gangbanger.
Yeah.
But regarding, with Democrats supporting Palestine and Hamas and all that, if you think about it, it's not hard to figure out because they've sort of done this before. For decades, they've supported gangs like MS-13 and criminal activity and whatever the Crips and Bloods. Well, I don't know who they are, but they've openly embraced it in Los Angeles, Chicago, and all the rest of it. So now that Hamas has done what they've done, because again, they're just MS-13 is just as brutal as Hamas. And Democrats have welcomed them with open arms rather than criminalize them and throw them in prison, which they should have done a long time ago. So this is sort of par for the course.
I have not noticed an increase in helicopters and such. There are usually, over by where we live, it's fairly common to have police helicopters flying around, and I don't take it personally. But I haven't noticed an increase over there. But you say it's doing that over there. So,
it is, and it may just be a local thing. I don't know, but
and you're worried.
Either that or they're looking for me.
Well, you're not that hard to find, Dan. Well,
yeah, I stick out like a sore thumb over here. By the way, I mentioned something rather ominous yesterday. I said, there's a very realistic possibility of assassination for Donald Trump, and I think I even said that for Joe Biden.
They must be very well protected because they would like to if they could get to him.
No, that's an extreme statement. And for those if you had someone who listening for the first time, they were thinking this is some crackpot station that promotes a conspiracy theory. What everyone needs to understand is we're in new territory. We are in a banana republic. I mean, look at the trial that Trump is going through. That's clearly banana republic.
Where stuff like
style.
That is common.
Yeah, it's very commonplace in assassination.
The opposition guy accidentally cut his head off while combing his hair. Oh,
that's
what a
right.
shame.
Yeah, he fell in the shower like 30 times, right?
Yeah.
But seriously, that's what happens in these banana republics. People get killed all the time. It's just the way it is. So if I'm obviously not wishing that to happen, but if it does, I won't be all that surprised. But obviously, you keep not obviously, but you have said a number of times that you think the election may not happen, going into next year. That would be one of the reasons that would stop. And there's a whole variety of reasons why there would be no election, but that would be one of them.
It makes me wonder. The things that are going on now are quite scary. If you like the West, if you like Western civilization, if you love America, if you love the U.S. Constitution, things don't look good right now, Dan. They don't.
Well, the story of Paul Kessler, the gentleman who was killed by a protester, he's not the first to die, sadly, on all this. I reported a couple weeks ago a woman named Samantha Wall, who was a president of a Jewish synagogue, stabbed to death in Detroit. Police there have no suspects and no motivation. Yes, they can't. They are that stupid. There's going to be more people, sadly, like that. They're going to die in the street for a whole variety of reasons and situations. But what bothers me the most is that Rashid Tlaib is still spewing out hatred, still wanting for Israel to be destroyed, and we still have Tom McClintock unwilling to lift a finger to stop her.
Well, she was put there to do that, Dan. That's her job. She shouldn't be in Congress, but Soros and his goons are everywhere.
They are. I'll leave you on this. Watch. Hamas is going to try to offer a few hostages, most likely to try to put a pause and ceasefire so that they can regroup. John Kirby is already pushing for this. I don't think Netanyahu is going to fall for it. So, but again, our State Department wants this to happen because they want Israel to lose.
Yeah, they want Israel to lose. They want the U.S. to lose. They want the U.S. to go away. And like Dinesh D'Souza did a movie about that years ago.
And yet
America,
another
imagine a world without her.
And yet another uplifting phone call from yours truly.
Thank you, Dan.
Anytime. Thanks, bud.
Take care. It is 7:23. An accident. Westbound 50 at 65th Street. Traffic backed up to Bradshaw Road.